Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. So to not focus too much on, how Thanksgiving started, but to just, put our energy into being grateful for the things that we have. I'm very thankful for the people who have taken the time to still be a part of my life, who put in effort to let me know how they're doing, or um, to also go out and spend time with each other. I really do appreciate that because that helps me keep my sanity, especially in a time like this. Um, and for those who have decided to give me my space, as an introvert, it's really nice when I set time aside to go through the things that are on my mind and to verbalize them. Because when I verbalize the things that are going on in my head, it really helps me to organize my thoughts. And instead of just going through all the worry and commotion, and sometimes what we do is we are constantly worrying about things that we cannot control. And so, we find ourselves um, making things a bigger problem than they need to be. And if we could just verbalize what's going on and we can come to this acceptance of what we can control and what we can't control, then it becomes a lot easier to make decisions for ourselves and, you know, for what we can be doing so that we can be happy, especially on a day by day basis. What can I control? What time can I be waking up? And so that I can be going to the gym, you know, doing doing the cardio that I decide to do, and in that way clearing my mind, helping me so that when I go throughout my day, I'm not so confrontational, and I'm much calmer with um, anything that I go through, any obstacles that I have to face because of the decisions that I made in the morning, and those were things that I did have control over. So thank you to those people too. You know, what we're going through is a day by day process, and um, that's the best way that we can take it. If we don't look at it in that way, it can be very overwhelming. So I wanted to share with you guys how I spend my time when it comes to entertainment, especially right now where a lot of us have the free time to um, to watch different things to take us away from what we're going through. I i understand that I cannot just keep I what I can't do is I can't just keep working, like overly doing things, because if I do, I would burn out. And I've learned the hard way that I've burnt out before many times, where I've wanted to progress so much and I wanted to do so much with my life that um, I don't give myself the time to just like sit back for a minute, just learn how to breathe, just take the moment in. That is meditation. Interestingly, right? That is meditation. And um, I've put myself in a state of high anxiety and stress because when we're under a lot of stress, we actually are our senses are heightened, and we work harder. We find ways to be productive, um, which can be a good thing. It definitely can be, but we're limited to how much we can actually do. And so what I spend my free time on is I'll watch K dramas, and I'll also watch K pop shows. And if you know Korea, then you know that they made it a priority to create entertainment, and it's good quality entertainment, like really good quality entertainment. If you haven't seen any of it yet, it's definitely worth watching. You will not be disappointed by trying it out and making that decision. And so there's a group called Enhypen. And Enhypen is, I hope I'm saying that correctly. Enhypen is a group that is new, and they did a reality show to find these guys. Put a group together, a new group, but they're pretty young as well. I think they're like 16 to 20, something like that. And um, how in the world do kids that young even understand like what they're doing, how big the implications can be of their decisions, and how they handle all the stress that's going to come their way. But for them to be able to do this and to find the right people to do it, um, uh, they know what they're doing. They absolutely know what they're doing. And a few years back, there was a group called Big Bang. Big Bang was like, so it was such a good group that it had fame outside of Korea, and that's what made them stand out. And right now, especially, Blackpink is a group who is showing, how many fans they can actually have, how many views they can have, how many followers they can have. It's crazy because the numbers are so big. And this happens overnight, this happens over a couple days, and they're always posting, like 500 million, 600 million, and which is insane. But it just shows like how many people follow them and how well produced they are as a group. And a lot of these groups are like that. So Enhypen is in the early stages of what they can be, and they will definitely take off because of all the support that they are receiving. And so two of the recommendations that I have for shows that I watch are, one is Tale of a Nine Tail, and then the other is Startup. And both of these are really good. Something that sets them apart from the other things that you could watch online are the life lessons that are learned through what is demonstrated on their show. Sometimes when I watch things, I feel disturbed because of, and I'm not referring to K dramas, but other things that you can see online. I feel disturbed because I think what they have found is we're attracted to these things that we're not used to seeing, and that like we just want to see what happens next, right? And and these shows put us into a state of anxiety. I don't want to feel that way. I'm choosing to take in content that to me is heartwarming, and K dramas will do that for you. So these life lessons that can be learned are moments that if you could just pay a little bit more attention than usual, then things are said in a certain way where they use wordplay in order to teach a lesson because of what's going on. And it makes you think, especially in your life, like what do I go through that can be teaching me these lessons? Because really, if we can pay attention, then we can have these moments happen in our own life. And that's what makes these shows so meaningful to actually watch. And I'm a sucker for a good love story. So these shows are really good when it comes to love stories. Whether it's the main lead who has the love story or the second lead love story, they're both really good. And something that I think helps a lot of the viewers relate is the love stories have to do with people who are awkward, people who may have not felt like they accepted themselves or they loved themselves at first, or even felt like they're worth it, right? But in time they get to this point where um, they do feel like they've grown, they've matured, and they have a moment again, right? In this moment where they can fall in love, but they have to make a choice. Um, and this decision is a decision that changes everything. To be able to see that on the big screen, to see that, hey, look, at first maybe you weren't ready for it, but this time around, you can make a difference and your whole life can change. Like the love story that you've always wanted to can happen. That is so nice because it gives you the courage as well to want to do that and to, pay attention because these moments will happen and they happen when we least expect them to. But when that happens, we better be ready for them because we can't just let those moments pass us by. And, if we can see it, uh, we can visualize it, then we can also act in our own moments. Okay, so um, tell when I tell, I'm not gonna, no spoilers or anything like that. But tell when I tell, the lead in it is actually the second lead that was in Goblin, and in Goblin, while I was watching that, which is an absolutely amazing K drama. If you haven't seen it, please, uh, when you have the time, take a moment to check it out. It's worth your time for sure. The second lead in it is the main lead in Tell Van Tell, and I always wanted to see like how his love story would have played out, and finally I get to see it play out in another drama. Of course, it's still ongoing right now, so like if you want to give it some time before it actually releases all the episodes, that's fine. But definitely worth your time. K dramas are like a grown-up version of anime. So if you like anime, and not every single one is, not every single one is this type of drama, but Tell Van Tell definitely is this type of drama, and Goblin is like that as well, where you see some scenes in it that it like takes you back to a different period, right? And um, it just reminds you of, oh, hey, when I was growing up and when I was watching anime, I also saw these moments in anime, and it affected me in a certain way because at the time, um, you were uh, you could be impressed by these things, and they could teach you lessons, and they had meaning to them that nowadays maybe the anime doesn't catch your attention the same way as it used to, but a K drama definitely would. And it's just like an older version of the same thing that you watched, but now, something new, something fresh, a different story. And so, um, Tell When I Tell, definitely worth your time. And then Startup was one that was referred to me, and um, this one focuses on business, as well as a love story and a second lead love story. Um, but it makes business, really attractive because, especially at this time, I think a lot of people want to do something where they feel like they have more purpose in their life, and they want to pursue something that could be like a small business, or it could even, change the lives of many people. And um, there's a lot of things that come with it that are not understood by everyone, that unless you go through it yourself, then um, then it's hard to explain it to people, because those moments are moments where you could receive life lessons. And so um, it's very entertaining, very aesthetic, um, very good love story. Um, Definitely worth your time, and just something that uh, if you're looking for something else to watch and something that you could feel good about, when you walk away from it, then those two, my recommendations. But the way that I wanted to bring this all together, is that it's important that we find ways to be present, because when we're present, we're better able to make decisions, and decisions that will help us to do things that we want to do, that we're happy to do, that we enjoy, and not that we feel obligated to do. Because if we didn't do them, that we would feel bad about them. But we wouldn't have to be on autopilot with our decisions, but we could be present. And by being present, we can have these moments as well that if we are noticing, if we are paying attention, then we can receive life lessons, and we can see moments that are only received by those who actually act and who are actually present in their life in that moment. So I hope you guys can enjoy a nice meal with your families or those who you care about and you love. And thank you so much for listening.